So we are now starting our morning drive with the new BMW i3, and I can tell you beforehand it's all different from a conventional motor car. So everything is new, apart from maybe this section here. This you know from BMW cars, from normally the BMW cars, all these buttons here and this switch. But this is maybe here also familiar from the new Mini, for example, this HMI. But all the rest, you start here with this piece. There's a rotary, very massive rotary switch, and this actually is the gear lever for selecting the gears. To start the engine or the electric drivetrain, you just press this button. You hear a spherical noise, a little, you know. And now just turn this to D, and we start. Of course, silent. And it's a commanding seating position, a little bit like in a minivan, raised hip point, huge screen, so it's a very commanding, nice position. And the general feeling is not the one of a standard car, but more of a living room. And it has two reasons. First, we don't have a traditional dashboard anymore with analog gauges and clocks and everything, so we have just two screens here. This screen is pretty nice. I mean, it's fantastic. It's freestanding and it looks more like your plasma TV screen in your living room hanging on a wall. And this is another one here for the main informations, like the driving range, which is very important here. The speed, the car is, by the way, limited to 150 kilometers per hour, and some more information. That's all. So it's very clean, uncluttered. And the second reason for feeling totally different from a standard car are all these materials. We have this beautiful eucalyptus wood with open pores in two pieces here, sloping down to the center section here. Very nice. We have leather up here and here, naturally tanned leather. It's very important for BMW. All the materials are from renewable sources, and sustainability is very important. And there's a very, coming to the seats and the doors, we have this combination of this cloth and the leather. Again here, this cloth is very hardly found in any other cars nowadays. And this material here, which you also found around the windscreen area, it looks at first glance a little bit cheap, and you wonder why don't they cover it with some plastic or also with some leather or so. But this is deliberately done. It's recycled material from the cotton family. I have noted down the word because it's not very often. It's kenaf. It's a kenaf fiber in the door panels here and in this area from the cotton family, completely natural material. And this makes the whole car, the instruments, the operating modes and the materials, a totally new experience. For a guy like me who has driven cars for 40 years now, you feel in a totally different world, but I have to say it's really relaxing, enjoying. And now we can push the pedal and you can see it goes like a rocket, huh? I think it was 8.7 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. And we are now in the comfort mode, I believe. Yes, the comfort mode is one of 3 driving modes. You can select it by this switch here. And if you want to extend your range, press to Eco Pro or even Eco Pro Plus. In Eco Pro Plus, you reach the highest amount of recuperation of brake energy. And this recuperation feeds the battery and, of course, increases then your range. The maximum speed in this Eco Pro mode is reduced to 90 kilometers per hour, which is no problem if you drive in areas like here now where you have a speed limit of 50 k's. It's no problem for you. And what you will learn with this car when you drive it longer, that you hardly ever have to press the brake pedal anymore. Because if you lift the throttle, look, the car, I'm not pressing the pedal, it stops automatically on its own. I mean, this is really fantastic. We can repeat it again in the Pro mode. Let's see what it's doing now. I lift the throttle and it decelerates again virtually to a standstill. I mean, that's fantastic. And if you drive it ever longer, you get a feeling, you know, how much the distance is to the car in front of you. And I can believe, if you drive it really for a long time, that you can forget the brake pedal. Of course, it has to be there for safety reasons. But again, this is another totally new experience. And I know people who switched from that car to a conventional car, and they, at first, in the first moment, they forgot to press the brake pedal because they were anticipating the behavior of the BMW i3. So, also here now the steering. It's a BMW. It's very sporty. Despite the tires, which we will have a look later on. These are huge 19-inch tires, but very small. So you would expect it probably has not much traction, but I can tell you it's a car that makes good fun. Look at this. Yeah, and it's all silent. There is no noise coming from everywhere, from nowhere. This car has the range extender, by the way. It's a little 2-cylinder motorcycle engine from the BMW. I believe it has a 9-liter fuel tank, and this is just to be, you know, some kind of assurance when the battery runs flat and there's no charging point immediately available. You can then, with the 9 liters of fuel, go home or go to the next charging point and then reload your car. And this stretches the range to around 300 kilometers. There's also a version without the range extender, a purely electric car, and there they give a range of 150 to 160